2026 is still a year giving us some really good gear that could be good for prep, bug out, EDC type of stuff. And last month was no different. Let's just talk about some of the newest gear that I got in that you may want to check out. Some of this stuff might get individual reviews. Some of the stuff may not. Let's first talk about the O-Sight XR. This is a fantastic red dot with 6 options for you to use the red dot itself. Very, very clean, easy to see, easy to use. So far, I've been really enjoying this bad boy, especially for the rounds that I put down range. I probably only put about 200 rounds down range so far. You can change the way the red dot looks. I have it set to how I want it to be. The thing I like about it also, it has pop-up rear sights if you're still running a front sight, if that's something that you want to be able to do, or if you have to eliminate your rear sights like I had to because I had to push it out just to get this thing into the weapon. I am running this on my Beretta PX4 Storm 40 caliber. Very easy so far when it comes to putting sight down range and just acquiring a target. Really wanted to get into the world of possibly using a sight on a weapon, and this is probably one of those instances that was easy for me to do. So I like the fact that this thing is just very simple, easy to rack back. I'm going to see exactly how good the battery life is. I think I'm not going to have any issues with it. It does come with a battery, kind of like this charging port that lays on top of it. Very useful, very unique. I'm a big fan of it so far. The Olight PLX is a weapons light that I didn't know that I needed until Olight saw my comments last month on the light that they sent me. This one's significantly better. It does have 2 different beam patterns depending on which one you want. You can get a spot, you can get a flood, kind of whatever one works for you just by clicking this little switch on the side. I like it, but the only thing I don't like is it doesn't sit the best on my particular weapon. And of course, when they make these lights, they're trying their best to make them for multiple different weapons, not just one specific one. And I've contacted Olight. This is kind of just how mine sits. Maybe I can find some type of adapter, but it just doesn't really sit flush. There's just a little bit of a gap like right there in this little back area that kind of gets on my nerves, but it is what it is. We will be swapping it out though with the Coast Breaker. This is the PTX 35. This has 16,000 candela, which is the part that has me the most excited. This also has the option of having different beam patterns with its patented optic in the front. Very, very clean light, 500 lumens on this bad boy. So I'm looking forward to just getting this thing onto the weapon, seeing how it works and all of that good stuff. Kind of easy to kind of push, turn how you want it. I like this thing. But I want to get it onto the weapon because that would be like, lets me know really if it's going to be worth it. That's what it looks like when it's in flood mode, which I think is a little bit better than the Olight, and even the spot beam is just better. Like it's more pronounced when you switch it over, but it is a bigger light. It reminds me of a Streamlight. I also have the new Streamlight TLR light that just came in. I got to go pick that up from the post office here today. But overall, we're going to see how this goes. Another thing I'm worried about this particular light is holster options. Olight is working with a lot of companies to get holsters for this light. Is Coast doing the same thing? I won't know until we get to that point when I start hitting up some companies to find a way to holster this thing so I can carry it. Let's talk about the flashlight I got in. I got 2 flashlights from Workos last month. I've already given the other one away. I'll put the information on the screen. I didn't like that light. It was a dope light. It seemed like it was trying to compete with like the Olight Arcfeld Pro. It wasn't for me. This one is a little bit more interesting. This is the Workos TD11. It's a tactical flashlight with a 3000 lumen high output. I already have some cons I don't like about it. This switch in the front is almost useless. I know it's a tactical eco mode. And then I guess this is like I don't even know what that symbol means on the far right, but that lets you use like multiple modes of the flashlight. I think they probably could have got rid of that. But in tactical mode, the thing I don't like about it so far is when I get into the high output is 3000 lumens. Fantastic, right? It has a proximity switch. Look at that. It steps down. You cannot turn the proximity switch off. I don't like that. I went through the instructions. I contacted the company. You also can't turn down the tactical mode or the proximity mode in tactical mode strobe, which is when you really want it. Strobe warning. While I'm strobing, if you go down, it goes into a proximity mode. Why would you do that? You want a strobe mode to be able to disorient someone in front of you. If they get close to the flashlight, it's going to go down. And maybe there's a workaround for it. But what I do like about it, I do like this side light. Okay, you can get RGBs on it. Very clean CRI on this side light. not sure how the heck they worked that magic, but they did. You can get a white light, and it can go all the way up to 350 lumen on this side light. Very bright if you're trying to use it for different instances. You can bring it all the way down to 3 lumen, whatever you want to do with this side light. That's probably the part I like the most. We'll see how this works out. Very fast charging with USB-C. I've already depleted it once, playing around with it for a couple of days, and it charged up very quickly. We'll see how that goes as I use it more and more often. Is it going to replace my Nikkor EDC 29? Well, it is about $40 cheaper, so that's a bonus for it. But that proximity thing does have me a little bit thrown off. Some new watches that came in, which brings us to today's video sponsor, which is Ver, and their S5 calendar filled white. But this one particularly, they've now made it in a 42 millimeter. Oh my God. Listen, I like myself a big watch. I have a 40 millimeter watch on my wrist. This is a 42 millimeter calendar filled white watch. Looks really good. Next to it is its little brother, the 36 millimeter, right? And it's just something about having a big watch face sometimes, not too big. 46 is a little obnoxious, but I wear it every now and again if they make it. But the 42 is just very, very elegant. I like it. A good quartz movement. It's less than 200 bucks. Matter of fact, it's like 189 bucks. Something that you can wear to work and out on the town. And you can take this thing deep underwater, surfing, fishing, whatever. You don't have to worry about it getting wet and being completely useless. I think it looks really good. A great addition to Ver's collection. And I like the price point that they were able to keep this at. It just fills out nicely in their whole like S5 line that they have going on, whether it's the S5 tactical or the calendar filled white in 36 or 40 or 42 millimeters. They've all been a very, very good line for them. Check those out because you still get 2 watch straps for less than 200 bucks, sapphire crystal glass, a lockdown screw down crown. Just a very good watch, bang for your buck. I'm a big old fan of Ver. Shout out to them for sponsoring today's video. And even just this holder itself, if you want this Lockbee watch holder, I'll link this up for you as well. That's not new, but it's one of my bangers when I'm traveling and I want to be able to switch watches around. We got to talk about Gen 4 of this Nikkor MB10000. Okay, I got this last month. I've already shown it on a couple videos. I'm using it right now to charge my phone. What I like about it is it does have these RGBs, which they're probably programmable, but I've already thrown away the instructions. But what I like is that when I plug it up, it gives me a visual feedback that it's charging. I like that, okay? It throws it on for a couple seconds. Once it's into its charging cycle, these lights do turn off. That's why I haven't gone through and figure out how to program them to a certain color, because as long as they turn off, I'm good with that. They've made it smaller than previous generations, right? And the output has been increased. So if we look here, this is the NB Gen 2, Gen 3, and Gen 4. You can see Gen 2 had a USB-A and a USB-C. Gen 3 had 2 USB-Cs, and then Gen 4 has 2 USB-Cs. The biggest thing here is that you're now getting an easy 22.5 watt output on this model, and it can do 22 watt input, so a little bit faster charging. You can see it's slimmer, Gen 3, and it's a little bit fatter, but I'm okay with getting a little bit more, getting fatter and still being able to pump out 22.5 watts. But also what they did is they've added this optional, if you can hook a lanyard to it, which comes in a box and it comes with the cable. There's plenty of these battery banks that come with the cable. I like the fact that this one's not built in. The lanyard is built in, but I can't tell you, I've at least 3 of these built-in holders I've broken. Well, my kids have broken the cable. Once the cable's broken, that's it. You got to take it to the manufacturer, or you can only use the ports. This one, it comes with this, and you can clip it in here, and it's a very, very strong hold. You can actually hold it like this, and it doesn't go anywhere. But if this cable were to be broken, it would suck. But I'm very confident I could find a USB-C cable to replace this, whether on Nikkor's website or some third party, and I will still be good to go. Knives, tons of knives came out. Some of these are kind of like regen. Some of these are already out, but they've kind of did a little bit of a kind of retouches, such as the custom Benchmade shootout. I have one customized that I got on benchmade.com. Fantastic. Okay. I got the crater blue for the scales. I got Marine X put on the actual blade itself. You're still getting the S30V. You're getting the coating finish on the blade. And I love how lightweight this is. I also like this little texture here in the front. I didn't know, it almost feels like grip tape on a skateboard. And you can just tell that that is definitely designed there to keep your hand from slipping up, your finger from slipping up the knife if you're using it in certain ways. Very good double action, great ramp on this. This is probably the most aggressive ramp that I've had on an OTF knife when it comes to the use cases. And I'm not worried about one of my kids accidentally opening it. This is me using my index, which is about the same strength of one of my kids. A lot of resistance. Like you really got to push this, to open it. So I like the fact it has that much resistance. It gives me more peace of mind. One complaint is I wish here that this is ambidextrous. I wish they would kind of like on the inside of those scales, they would have made it gold or something more aesthetically pleasing, because it's obvious it's designed for you to swap the pocket clip around. But if you're never going to do it, I wish it was just a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. Similar to like this buck. If you look at this buck, right, that's ambidextrous, but they've kind of like made where they tapped it, they made it gold. So that way, if you're not going to ever swap it around, it kind of look prettier to look at, or maybe give it a fill-in plate. But you can change out the pocket clip if you want to. You can get a split arrow. You can, instead of the mini deep carry, you can get a regular deep carry. You can get the regular. It's lots of options when it comes to Benchmade. You can change out the rear if you want to get a glass breaker, which I didn't do. I just kind of kept the regular lanyard back there. Whatever is really going to work for you, you can kind of make happen by just outfitting it out on their website. Very, very nice addition. I did not know that ProTech and that Chavez was going to do a automatic Redemption 229 S35VN Super Steel. So older Super Steel, but still fantastic nonetheless. But great, easy action, snappy action on this automatic knife. Very, very good. Deep grooves on the top. So easy if you're going to be using this knife in certain ways. I have not put this in the pocket, but one day, because one of its brothers came in the shop as well. We'll talk about that here in a second. But I love the fact that it's just one continuous piece. Of course, they always have their signature pocket clip, but look at the scales. Just one design, one fantastic build on this. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart on you. It feels extremely durable, very well made, good drop point, good knife. This is just one of those knives that you give it to somebody, they don't know that it's going to snap open. It kind of surprises them a little bit. It's very fun to use. A great knife nonetheless. And I like the fact you can change out the pocket clips if you wanted to. You can change out, go with if you don't want to have that skull pocket clip, you can go with something more muted, right? Kind of get that job done. Or you can change it and go with a whole different color skull clip. Now we got to talk about the Redemption with the interchangeable scales. Oh my, so this is the third knife that I've seen with like interchangeable scales. This is the knife the easiest to do it with. I've had some stuff from TRM where you got to take off it's just 2 screws, but you got to do 2 screws to take the scales off. I've had some stuff from, I think it's Tsunami Pyrotech. They've sent me a knife where it's interchangeable, but you're damn near ripping your fingernails off just to change out the scales. This is the easiest one where you just put back pressure on the back side of those scales. You pull out the scales themselves. It has very strong magnets. And then you can swap in whatever scales that you're buying from their website. And I hope that one day that they even go aftermarket on some of this stuff. But it's actually very reliable, because you can't put pressure on the front and make the scales come off. You can't put pressure on the middle. It's the rear. And even on the rear, you have to be pretty deliberate with it, with like very, very tip of the back of that blade or the scales, just to make that come up. So it actually feels like a very intuitive design. This is rocking M390 blade steel. This one is a frame lock, like a lot of their knives are. This one also, I changed out the pocket clip to go gold. I think it came with a black one, but I put the gold on there, kind of like a brass. Feels really good. I will say that this is, if you were like thinking about diving into the Redemption, or if you already have a Chavez knife, and if I had to choose one of these, hard choice, I would probably go with this interchangeable model. It just feels like at any time I can go on their website, go on Blade HQ, go wherever, and get a different set of inlays. And just like that, I'm rocking it. If you wanted to, you can even rock it naked if you like the way that it looks with just magnets. So I think it's very well done. It's easy to change the pocket clip by just boom right here. You go in there and take those little T6 screws out, and that's how you swap that out, swap the design. And overall, this has been in my pocket quite a bit. Between this and the Benchmade that I got, it's very hard to decide which is which. This one looks more traditional, so when I pull this out, doesn't scare as many people. That OTF action on that Benchmade does kind of get some folks, but very good action. You can also swap out these thumb studs, and if you wanted to, I have some more over there, but great whether you want to reverse flick, spotty flick. This thing just kind of works no matter what action you do. Very, very well made knife. I could highly recommend that. So I told the story about my buck and my range elite. I had to throw it away at a security checkpoint in Vegas. Buck did send me out another one. Shout out to Buck for making that happen. And they've also wanted to show the Range Pro, because they've come out and they just showed the Range Pro, the mini Range Pro and the regular Range Pro, just in case you don't need the features of the Range Elite. The Range Elite is fantastic with these aluminum scales. I have it in green. You also get just a fantastic crossbar lock action. You're getting a Magna Cut blade steel. You're getting a Boss heat treat of Buck. And I think this is one of the cleanest ways to do a pocket clip when you do it around back and you do the screws back here, so that it's a very deep pocket clip, very deep carry, and you can swap it around, and it's no annoying hose on the side of the knife because they've decided to go to the rear. This is just a really well made, I mean, just the rear of it, just one big, beautiful piece for the knife itself. I can highly recommend this. I've had, before I had to throw away my old one, I carried that a ton over the course of a year. This one I can easily recommend. Like if you said X, you got to go to one crossbar lock, one. Although it would be hard, as much as I love Benchmade, who came up with the access lock, you know, back in the day with the 710, this knife is so fantastic to use. It's so much fun to just be able to carry with you. Reverse flick, spotty flick, whatever you're going to do. I could easily recommend this be your one and done. If you don't want to spend the money on those features, you don't need them. The Range Pro is fantastic as well. You're getting G10 scales on these. They have a lot more texture and grip to them. And you're still getting a fantastic action with the crossbar lock. The difference with these is they're rocking 154 CM. 154 CM is no slouch, especially when you put it in the hands of Buck. All of these are made in America. And with the Boss heat treat, you're going to really feel just how long that edge can last for you, how good the knife is going to work for you. And this is an easy recommendation if you don't want to necessarily spend the bucks on the Range Elite. The Range Pro is great. And like I said, I like what they did here. It's a reversible pocket clip, but if you're never going to reverse it, look how aesthetically pleasing that is to do on the part where they tapped it to make it just look that much better. Very good knife, feels good. Even the smaller version here feels pretty decent, even for it to be such a small knife. If you're in a place where you can only carry small knives, or you just like to carry a small knife organically, then the Mini Range Elite may be, or the Mini Range Pro might be something that you may want to check out. Still 154 CM, still Boss heat treat, crossbar lock, very well done. These are fantastic knives that came in from Buck. We also got a couple of new e-bikes to check out. Now, the Atos, and I may be mispronouncing that, the Atos, the Flux 26 Pro, we're going to be doing a review on that very soon. That's about to hit Kickstarter. That's going to be coming out in May. And then the Hey Bike Ranger 3.0. Great bike, fun to ride. It folds up. It's going to be a great option for a bug out because it folds up and can fit in your trunk very, very easily. We also got to talk about Eberly Stock and their chest packs. These things have always been crazy popular with their website. They've made some just subtle changes, and I think that these are worth it. Okay. So a lot of their chest packs were really focused on binos. So if you are the type of person that carries binoculars, that's what their chest packs were for. But they recognize that a lot of folks carry packs and they want gear to be very near them quickly. And they didn't want to have to get a bino case. And they came out with these. This is the Fury chest pack. I like the size of it. It does have a few features, a few less features than its big brother here. But it's going to be good if you want to use it for rucking, keeping it on your chest. Maybe you're going to an event all day and you just want to wear it. Maybe you use it for working out or whatever. You can see I've been using this for rucking purposes. So I can keep my pepper gel on here. I can keep a light on here, my mosquito repellent, and a flashlight. It has a zipper behind it, which is good for maybe keeping your cell phone accessible very quickly, or a snack or something. And then what I normally do is in this main pocket, I will either carry my CCW or I would carry like a towel. Sometimes I wipe my face when I'm rucking, or I would carry a blanket so I could sit on the ground in some places if I'm in the woods or whatever. And this is kind of like my normal setup. I like that they put these wings on the side, so when it's on your chest, it doesn't go flopping all the way open. I love the way that the rear is made. So you attach it here. You can detach the side. So when you actually take it off of your body, you can just throw it over your head, take it off. And to adjust it, it does have this flip up mechanism to keep it from like auto adjusting. So that keeps it even more secure. Wherever you lay this thing out, it basically stays in the same place. Same concept here. They brought the same thing here. I haven't worn this one yet. I still have the tags on it. This bigger brother, 100% been rocking this thing out. And I've been enjoying this one quite a bit. So the last thing I wanted to show you guys is this is the Huru 19 liter. This is called the Huru 6564, which I don't know if that's like longitude and latitude lines or something like that for this bag. I will say this. This is probably my brightest bag that I would use if I was hunting on public land and I wanted to be seen, or if I just wanted to make sure you can identify me in a crowd, like maybe you're going to Disney World, some theme park or something like that. Your kids will definitely spot you from far away. It's less than 2 pounds, but I can't fully recommend it. I do think the price is a little bit too high for a company I've really not heard too much about. I have seen some of their reviews and some of their bags online. But for this type of price point, I could see you spending the money on something from like Brown Buffalo or Able Carry. But this does have some unique features that those bags don't offer. First of all, these buckles are really good. And inside of the buckles themselves, it does have like this hidden pocket that you can use. You want to throw a passport or something in there that you don't want somebody to see or unzip and take real quickly. But this water bottle pocket, it's not really ready for people that will be carrying stuff like us. Like you might want something that can carry a Nalgene size bottle very easily. This is not going to be doing that. And so this could get use cases, especially if I'm in crowded places like the State Fair of Texas or stuff like that, where I can just really be seen by my family from very far away. The last thing I was going to show you, because this is a chunker, this is a big boy. It's probably my favorite knife that came in because of how obnoxious it is, but not because of usefulness. This is CJRB double tap. And when I say double tap, it's a big boy, okay? Big old beefy blade on this. It almost feels like a full tang knife. They've decided to go and use the super lock. A lot of brands are starting to use this super lock. CJRB is doing a really good job with incorporating this. Love the way this looks. It's black with the orange lanyard hole, big old beefy scales. And I mean, it's rocking the super lock. So it's just fun to be able to whip this thing open using the lock. You can whip it open using the thumb studs. But this is a little obnoxiously big to carry in the pocket. If you see yourself needing something like this, why would you? If you don't want to carry a full tang knife, maybe this will be useful. But the only issue is the reason you carry a knife this big is to do stupid stuff with it. So say you want to split pieces of wood for firewood, you would normally put this at the top of the wood, mallet this down. It's hard to mallet this down because you're going to be hitting the lock. Okay. You can damage the knife just by I don't know if you've ever malleted a full tang knife before, but you're going to miss a few times. And if you were to hit that lock, you can damage some of the components. So would you use this to start the processing of a kill if you were hunting? Probably not. It's kind of not very precise for starting to take the hide off of an animal or something like that. Could you use this for like kindling and other stuff out in the field? Yeah, you could, especially if you rest your finger on the back of this lock. So if you want to go away from your body, you could. And cutting, just traditional cutting out in the field, probably be just fine. Pulling through stuff is going to be fantastic. So piercing through like burlap, pulling towards your body, it's going to be good with this big old beefy blade. And the price point is probably going to be great, it being CJRB and these things being made overseas. D2 blade steel, very obnoxiously big, fun knife to have. But that is what I'm rocking for this month. Comment down below, what did you like the most? What did you like the least? And I would love to have you a part of the battalion by hitting the subscribe button. If this is your first time stopping by, please do that. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.